So, how does the very first week of the NFL look? How do the rest of the games look for the rest of the schedule? What about the holidays? And what about our favorite teams? What do our schedules look like? Well, we're going to try to find the answers to those questions and more as we present to you a very special off-season edition of Fantasy Football Fever.
I'm going to need a lot more of this.
Oh.
Well, we'll see if we can refill that one. Well, let's just go ahead and hit the intro. Fantasy Football Fever starts right now. And what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever here on the TJM 3774 channel. Great to have you all with us. It is Wednesday night. Yes, that's right. Wednesday night as of our
Dynamite.
recording. Hey, I like that. Wednesday night is Dynamite. I like that. It is May 15th, 2024. We are delighted to have you with us wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, however you're watching. We want to thank you for joining us here. Of course, my name is Tim McClellan, and we got some guys here for this special show. Of course, we got the host of Hooked on Sports, Mr. John Flynn.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, doing okay. Sporting the Danny Dimes again.
Who wears number 5, Tim?
Wait. I'll hold that thought.
Oh,
come on, Timmy.
okay. I don't know who else wears number 5 besides Daniel Jones, but that's Thibodeau.
Yeah,
Kayvon.
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Kayvon Thibodeau, of course. That's our league commissioner, John Natale, right there. How you doing?
Good. Excellent.
And we've got one of our league members right here. Of course, the host of the soon-to-be returning, but I wouldn't say a return. I mean, it is the Pain and Game Pick'ems coming back this September. But
New and improved.
New and improved, but don't call it a comeback. It's been here for years.
That's right.
Is the one and only Alex Putnam, a.k.a. A Pizzle 90, my favorite Miami fan.
Yes! What is going on, everybody? Football freaks, gridiron geeks, have no fear. A Pizzle is here in the flesh, baby.
That's right. That's
going
right.
on?
And
we got
I
her
heard
member joining us later on in the show.
yes, we could. We could have another one of our members coming up here. I guess they had to go get some grub, so I guess he could be ready for this show. But hey, we're glad that you're watching here, everybody, because tonight's a big night. It was just about a little less than 2 hours ago that the NFL officially released the 2024 schedule. Now, I will say that for the last couple of days, a few games were kind of leaked out because, well, that usually happens when things are usually put under wraps, you know.
And the thing is, like, the NFL never really puts like a strict limitation on media members because media members tend to leak the schedule. So believe it or not, before 8 o'clock, I was following this guy on X at nerding on NFL. And through leaks and through the process of elimination, because the NFL schedule is pretty much set in terms of the opponents, because we know the opponents. So, for the upcoming season at the end of the last regular season, and by the time the schedule was released, over 85% of the 272 games on the schedule were known to the public. So this was a pretty anticlimactic sequence of events because a lot of stuff was already known. Which gave some of us extra time to do some prep for tonight's podcast. Now, meanwhile, we look at Natalia on the bottom left,
Yeah.
who doesn't want to be spoiled and didn't want to do the podcast prep ahead of time.
I mean, I like the suspense of the schedule.
Suspense is terrible. I hope it'll last.
I like surprise. I don't like surprises. I want to see it right on the TV.
I mean, like the NFL is the think about it. The NFL is the most watched reality. It's basically a reality TV show. It's the most watched, the most watched reality TV show throughout the course of the whole year because everything is real. You don't know what's going to happen. The NFL is such a week to week the type of thing. You can blow out some.
Expect the unexpected.
You can win one. You can beat Carolina 31-7 one week, and then the following week you're up against Kansas City, and so we're not facing Bryce Young. We're facing Patrick Mahomes, and you lose by 20 points that week. So it's a week to week type of thing. And
I did get my surprise when I watched it on TV. My surprise was I'm like, wow. My big surprise of the week was the Giants have an international game. That was my surprise.
But I mean, like the thing is this, but to be fair, the Giants had promoted their international connections with Germany, so like you had to know that I think the NFL was trying to get the Giants to Germany to expand their international brand. So hence we get the Giants and the Carolina Panthers. So in terms of point differential, were the two worst teams in the NFC last year, and we get all of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hey, there's already some people in here that want to say hello to us. We got Johnster over there. How you doing, Johnster? We got Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Of course, he's always watching us. Y'all tell y'all friends that we're on the air. Let them know we're going to the NFL schedule release reactions. And all right, good to see you, Johnster. All right, we have this one graphic that is going to basically put the entire. I mean, you cannot be more literal than this. Putting the entire season in a capsule. I hope you people can keep up with this.
Okay. Oh God.
If you people can keep up with all this, you're better than I am. I mean, I did the old-fashioned way. I just went to the ESPN website and printed out every single page for every one of the schedules. And of course, I printed a page for the Cowboys schedule.
That's right.
There it is, folks. Very, very well made, slightly complicated, but we're going to try to make this as easy for you as possible.
Yeah, everything's color coded, so
and just for disclaimer that this is the official schedule grid from the NFL because it basically tells you a color code with the primetime games, the holiday games, and a lot of key tidbits about this. So I think why don't we start as we always do at the very beginning? So week one, what are the most intriguing matchups that you saw from week one?
Yeah, definitely opening day, Baltimore, Kansas City.
Opening day. Baltimore, Kansas City, rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson, two of the best quarterbacks in the entire AFC. I mean, and you've got who was it? Who is it? Derrick Henry now with the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken.
Derrick Henry was the Ravens, yes.
Derrick,
Henry.
We have the Ravens now going up against that defense, and hopefully, but there's going to be a question mark. I mean, there's still the matter of Rashee Rice.
Yes.
with those. And I mean, if he misses some time,
He's
it's
going to.
it's going to be a huge blow. But hopefully, the Chiefs will be able to work in their rookie wide receiver from Texas, Xavier Worthy.
We're
and
not
hopefully-
worthy. We're not worthy.
You know, you just gave me an idea.
We're not worthy.
Pencil, you just
Nice
gave
roll.
me an idea. You just gave me an idea. Hopefully, they'll
Nice
work
roll.
him in so it will not be too painful. I mean,
Wait, let me guess. Is that going to be your team name in fantasy football next year?
well, I don't think I got him. And well, if
I
he's
guess if you
still
clapped him, then
available,
maybe.
if he's still available,
I'm
who
just
knows?
saying. I'm just saying.
What about the next night? They got a Friday night game. We got the Green Bay Packers against those filthy Philadelphia Chickens
In Brazil.
in Brazil.
Brazil.
Sao
And the
Paulo?
game is and the game is on Peacock.
Oh, Peacock, yes.
Oh, great. Now we got to pay for that too. Okay.
Unless you're in the Green Bay or Philly metro areas, you got to pay. Because I think when you have the streaming, because one of the local TV stations carries the game. But I think you did make an interesting point, Tim, before about Kansas City, because so if Rashid Rice does get suspended, you have Baltimore and Cincinnati. You figured those are going to be high scoring contests because of how good the quarterbacks are and the pressure the quarterbacks are going to have to lead touchdown scoring drives. I think this is not a bad schedule if you're looking at the wide receivers here, because I think you could look at Xavier Worthy getting a bunch of targets. I think you could be getting, you could get Hollywood Brown getting a good amount of targets because remember the Chiefs also had added Hollywood Brown, which is I think the one thing that hasn't been talked about enough. Given where this Chiefs wide receiver room was before the season, so
True.
So then Baltimore, Cincinnati, a Sunday night game on the road against Atlanta, week 3, a week 4 road game against the Chargers. So you could be seeing a bunch of 30 pieces from the Chiefs early on. So those gonna be guys that you're probably gonna want to consider drafting. With that, and then maybe Isaiah Pacheco catching passes from the backfield too. So from a fantasy perspective, this is a favorable early schedule for the Chiefs players.
Oh, yes.
Another big game for week 1. A late game. Sunday, the late game. Denver at Seattle.
Rematch of the Super Bowl.
10 years ago.
I believe you're correct on that. That will be
About
a
9
very
years
interesting
ago.
game right there.
Yeah, I mean, I also am interested in the Cowboys and the Browns. I'm kind of obsessed with this matchup because not only is it going to be the Cowboys taking out one of the league's best defenses last year, but you also got the broadcasting debut of Tom Brady on Fox.
The GOAT is making
Yes.
his broadcasting debut on Fox.
And the thing is, this isn't the first time the NFL scheduled Cowboys Browns week 1 because because every 4 years you have the interconference schedule rotation by divisions. So in 2008, so the Cleveland Browns have coming off a 10-win season, had huge expectations in the AFC and the Cowboys the year before went 13-3 before losing to the Giants in the divisional round. So they thought the Browns were going to be one of the main contenders in the NFL that year, but that clearly did not happen. And they put the Joe Buck, Troy Aikman crew on Fox for that game. But given that Cleveland's going to be much different in terms of the strength of their roster, I think this is a great matchup for the late afternoon primetime window on Fox.
Yeah, and then the Monday night game for week 1, a huge one here, the New York Jets at the San Francisco 49ers.
Holy, that's going to be interesting. Aaron Rodgers going back to his old hometown team when he grew up in Chico, California. He grew up a San Francisco 49ers fan, but it's interesting because it's Monday Night Football. Last year he played on Monday night. 4 snaps into the season, he got injured. Will it happen again? We'll see.
And also take a look at the first 11 weeks for the Jets schedule, guys, and look at all the primetime games they have.
Gee, I wonder why.
Because some people just can't get enough of that bad man. That bad man is back. How many better than ever?
How many primetime games did you say again?
I didn't say it specifically, but they have 6 in the first 11 weeks.
6 out of the first 11 weeks.
And this doesn't include the standalone game the Jets had week 5 in London against Minnesota.
So how long until Jets stand for just end the season?
But they got to keep their offensive line healthy, which on paper is a significantly better offensive line than it was last season because they added 3 starters.
You got Fashanu in the draft, yeah.
And then Tyron Smith as well. Then they traded for Moses Hogan from Baltimore in a trade, a trade that didn't make any sense to me from a Ravens perspective. But at San Francisco, but looking at the first 2/3 basically of the Jets schedule at San Francisco, at Tennessee, I think that they'll have a good week 2 is probably gonna be a favorable matchup for the Jets, and then their home opener is a Thursday night game against the Patriots. Then home against Denver, another favorable matchup, and then Minnesota and London, which isn't going to be easy, and then a Monday night game, week 6 on against the Bills on Columbus Day. Then at Pittsburgh on Sunday night on a short week. At New England, week 8 versus the Texans, week 9. I think a Texans defense that got better. And then at Arizona, which is going to be a team that's going to be a work in progress defensively. And then a Sunday night game at home against the Indianapolis Colts, week 11. And then they don't have. I don't believe they have any other prime. Don't have a primetime game on the schedule the rest of the season. So
yeah, there you go.
So I could see Garrett Wilson being ranked in the top 10 early on. I could see Breece Hall being ranked in the top 5 at running backs early on with some of that schedule. Now, a San Francisco team that was a little susceptible against the run down the stretch of the season. So I think something you gotta keep an eye out for that. Also, so you have the 2 higher scoring running backs in fantasy from last season, Breece Hall and Christian McCaffrey in that week 1 game. But since the game is in San Francisco, Santa Clara, it's gonna be like a Monday afternoon. There, it's gonna be like 5 in the afternoon. So there's gonna be some sunlight in the first half of that game.
Right there.
Sunlight.
I'm looking ahead right now to week 2. I just turned the page on my schedule here. The Thursday night game, Bills at Dolphins.
Oh boy.
That's a heck of a first Thursday night matchup, which is for Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit and company.
I like it because we get them out of the way early. Yep. We don't have to worry about them. We don't have to worry about them later in the season. Get them out of the way early.
Yeah, the rematch will be the rematch of Buffalo will be week 9, the day we change the clocks back to standard time. So it'll be a little past high, a little farther past high noon. Starting that day, but
yeah,
it's but. It's going to be and if you look at how Miami starts, home against the Jaguars week 1, the primetime game against the Bills, and then at Seattle, and then a Monday night game against Tennessee week 4.
Rematch for against the Mayo Man, yes sir.
Yeah, and then against the Patriots week 5 before their bye week in week 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a Buffalo at Miami. That's box office right there.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the game of the week.
Yeah, that which gives the people preparing for the Taylor Swift concerts the following weekend more time to get ready for that. It's because your Taylor Swift concerts take place week 7 in Miami, and the Dolphins are on the road against the Colts. Week 8, I'm pretty sure, because I know Indy is 1 week, and then New Orleans is the next weekend, and they have road games. The week prior to the Taylor concerts and the week of the Taylor concerts. So
okay,
right, interesting. Cool. Week 2 Sunday night game, Kansas City at home against the Cincinnati Bengals.
4:20. It's actually it's going to be the 4:25 p.m. Eastern game on CBS.
Oh yeah,
Jim Nance, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson on the call on that one.
Oh, I misread that one. 3:25, 4:25 Eastern time though.
Yeah.
And then you got Atlanta and Philadelphia wrapping that week up on Monday night.
Yeah.
I am looking for an improvement from Bijan Robinson from Texas.
Yeah.
I'm still. I mean, I know it's been 2 weeks now since the draft. 3 weeks. Still 3 weeks. I'm still wrapping my head around drafting Penix after just getting Kirk Cousins.
They just signed him to a 4-year deal. He's not going to start until he's like 28 or 27.
So which is the point I made made last week on this. The Sunday night game that week is one that's going to be intriguing because you have the Bears traveling to Houston to take on the Texans, and Caleb Williams' first primetime game. It happens to be against C.J. Stroud.
The Strouds.
Oh, the Young Bucks. That will be a great one. The young guns going at it. That will be worth watching right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that could be a game where both teams register 400 plus yards of offense in that one. So if you're looking at Caleb Williams as someone to draft, so Tennessee, Houston, Cleveland, their first 3 games are all interconference games. And then the Rams, Carolina, and Jacksonville. So that's a pretty darn favorable schedule for Caleb Williams to start his NFL career.
That could be. Johnston just put this bold statement up there. Hot take: Michael Penix takes over for Kirk Cousins in Week 8 at Tampa.
Let's see.
Why don't we take a look at that the Falcons schedule? Home against Pittsburgh, at Philly, versus the Chiefs, versus the Saints, versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then they're at Carolina versus Seattle. So
I'm gonna say by the bye week. I'll say by the bye week. Which would be 12.
I could probably see a loss. Maybe a loss to Pittsburgh, a loss to Philly, a loss to KC. Maybe they could win at New Orleans. They could beat Tampa Bay. They could beat Carolina.
Ooh, I just noticed that. Against Pittsburgh, at Philly, and Kansas City. Ooh, that's a rough stretch.
And then week 9 at home against Dallas. I'd say I am going to take so Penix in by week 8. I think I'm going to take the
Over. Take higher.
I'll take the over on that. Probably either week 9 or 10, maybe
12.
Yeah, but
12.
yeah, and I think these are and it's also going to be some tough matchups for Drake London, so who might be getting a lot of targets now that the Falcons lost some of their key target hoggers from last season. So it really opens the door for him. It opens the door for Kyle Pitts because Kyle Pitts finally gets a quarterback, an actual quarterback after the disaster of the last couple seasons, going from Desmond Ritter to Taylor Heineke, and now he gets Kirk Cousins.
And speaking of Kirk Cousins, I'm looking now at the week 3 schedule. Well, Kirk Cousins, they'll be they're playing against Kansas City. We just mentioned them, but his former team, the Vikings, are at home against the Houston Texans.
Ooh.
Could they go ahead and start JJ McCarthy?
I think JJ McCarthy is going to be the week 1 starter.
This would be awesome. I mean, CJ Stroud against JJ McCarthy. That'd be a box office matchup there.
That's Ohio State, Michigan.
Oh my gosh, the big rivalry there.
The two quarterbacks saw each other twice. Both big wins by Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Ohio State's not quite as good as they used to be, but they always play Michigan tough. They always do.
To me, the big shame of going to the 12-team playoff is that the Ohio State Michigan games don't mean as much as they did recently, because basically everybody knew the winner of that Ohio State Michigan game was going to make the college football playoff because of how good they both were and how the selection committee favored the conference champions and the 1-loss things and all of that. So.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking next big game on week 3 schedule. I see, of course, my Cowboys are at home against the Baltimore Ravens. That is going to be a tough one.
I'm pretty sure is that a 4:25 game on Fox?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is 4:25 on Fox. That is going to be a tough one because those Ravens they ain't no scrubs. No scrubs at all. Then we got what's the next one I see here? Oh, the first Monday night doubleheader is in week 3. ESPN is going to carry the Bills at home against Jaguars. Meanwhile, the Bengals will be at home taking on the Commanders.
Yeah, it's like I thought looking at I thought the NFL would get rid of the Monday night doubleheaders, because they just don't make any sense to me. If they're concerned about ratings because they want eyes on one game on those standalones. So I'm pretty surprised that they are still doing it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah. So, but both of the last year, the thing was that you have the writers' strike in Hollywood. So what ABC did was that they simulcast instead of doing some games on ABC, they brought the entire Monday night schedule to ABC because they didn't have any other programming. Because shows couldn't make any new content because of the writer's strike.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And the doubleheader thing, maybe just week 1. but I wouldn't say anything past week one would be I wouldn't say unacceptable. I'd say unnecessary.
Yeah, but the thing they used to do, and I'm happy they stopped this, was because it used to be that that you'd have two Monday night games week one that ESPN would take both of them. You'd have one game start at 7 o'clock, and then you would have a game on the West Coast starting at 10:15 Eastern time. So, which basically guaranteed that a West Coast city was going to host a primetime game for for that.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got another one that says hello. My girl Brandy.
Hello,
doing, girl?
Brandy.
Brandy.
Yeah, like the song says, Brandy, you're a fine girl with a good wife. You could, well, actually, she is a wife. So, how you doing, Brandy? Good seeing you. Good to have you watch this. Hey, give my regards to the hubby. Anyway, yeah, they just celebrated their wedding anniversary. I think I want to say 4 years now.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
4 years. Oh, she said this. I can't believe you know that song. Actually, I know that song so much that's one of my karaoke favorites.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a, and it, yes. They just celebrated their 4-year wedding anniversary. Congratulations, dear, and hopefully 4 more, or maybe 5 more, or 6 more, or more than that.
And to infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond.
Yes.
Much love to you, darling. Or as Freddie Mercury would say, much love to you, darlings. Well, anyway, turning the next page here to week 4. Week 4 matchup on Thursday night was for the longest time the week 1 matchup. Yeah, the Giants against the Cowboys.
Thank God it's not week 1.
Yeah, thank God it's not week 1.
And also they were 1 week away from doing some terrible optics because 2 years ago the NFL scheduled a Giants home primetime game the night of Rosh Hashanah. So and New York City has a large Jewish population. So and week 5 Thursday night is the beginning of Rosh Hashanah this year. So it would have been a really bad look if that Giants Cowboys game was Thursday night week 5. So I'm happy the NFL figured that one out. Instead, we get the Falcons and the Bucks week 5 Thursday night.
Yeah. Brandy is originally from Missouri. I think they may have moved back to Missouri, but she is a diehard Chiefs fan. So
another one.
Yep, another one. That's right. Looking down, let's see here. What's another good match in week 4?
Number 4, who do we got? Oh,
4.
What about, let's see.
I mean, you have another a rematch between Seattle and Detroit.
Tampa Bay and Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That could be something.
Buffalo at Baltimore, the Sunday nighter.
Mm-hmm.
And yet another Monday night doubleheader. Tennessee at Miami and then Seattle at Detroit. Yeah. I think I'm really starting to come around Flynn's way of thinking as far as these Monday night doubleheaders are concerned. They're just unnecessary.
Only if it's week 1. Only if it's week 1.
Week 1.
Yeah. Also, week 4, you got the Vikings and the Packers in at Lambeau.
Yes.
So I think that Jordan Love against JJ McCarthy that could be a good matchup.
One of the NFL's best rivalries, right there.
So yeah, I mean, you got the Rams and the Bears. I mean, depending on how the Bears defense is, that could be that could be a sneaky match, a sneaky 30-point opportunity for the Rams. So I think if you're thinking of Puka Nakua or Cooper Cup, I think that could be a really favorable matchup there, week 4.
That's
And also I believe you have the Chiefs and the Chargers in week 4, in LA.
yeah. Yeah, Kansas City at Los Angeles. That's a 4:25 game on CBS. Oh, we got David. He's got his. There he said, "Go Patriots." Nah. Oh, and of course, Johnster would have to say this one here.
Oh, what a surprise!
What a surprise! Well, of course, as I always say, chickens are
so much better than
chickens.
the chickens.
Yeah, I mean, you have a big division matchup against two teams that split their season series last year, the Jaguars and the Texans. It's because those teams in Indy were duking it out for the AFC South title the last couple of weeks, and a lot of that drama happened because each team won at the opposing team stadium. So Jacksonville and Houston, that could be a big one, and it's really going to be really to me a big year for Trevor Lawrence because this could be a make or break year for him. So looking at Jacksonville's early part of the schedule, they're at Miami versus Cleveland, at Buffalo, and then at Houston. So the NFL did not do Trevor Lawrence much in terms of favors for that part of the schedule. So I can't think of a quarterback in the AFC that's under more pressure this season than Trevor Lawrence.
Agreed.
I think Tua as well because I think Tua is I might be playing for a long-term contract and given how Miami has fared the last couple of years with and without him, that it could be that the Dolphins might be forced to be paying Tua 45 million a year.
Right.
And maybe perhaps even higher because you have 11 quarterbacks that have an average annual salary of their contracts of $40 million.
Right.
So it's going to be a real choice here at the end of the season for your Miami Dolphins.
We'll see. We shall see. I hope he does well. I mean, last year he led the league in passing yards. I think. I think he'll have a good season this year.
Yeah, and also I think a lot of that had to do with some of the insanely easy opponents that they had, like Denver, the Giants, Carolina, Washington. But we'll get to the Dolphins' end of the season schedule later because I think it's going to mean a lot. But it's a critical season for Tua. But I think you got to look at Trevor Lawrence as. To me, the quarterback under the most pressure among the AFC quarterbacks.
I have flipped another page going to week 5. The first game that sticks out to me as far as week 5 is concerned involves the top 2 picks from last year's draft. It's the Panthers at the Bears.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Bryce Young is Caleb Williams.
DJ Moore against the Panthers.
I'm assuming that's a 1:00 game that week.
1:00 on Fox.
Bills Texans is a good one.
Bills Texans, yes. Packers at Rams. Kind of sparks my interest there. Me and LC are going to have to go at it on this.
Oh boy!
Yeah, the great rivalry of the '70s, right there. Cowboys at Steelers.
Steelers.
The Steelers.
Those guys football.
I'm kind of hoping that LC would probably make it to the show because I was going to get his thoughts on that. Meanwhile, Brandy, good night. All love, see the guys. Hugs to all. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you. You're good. Have a good night, darling. So Yeah, I was just talking about Green Bay at Los Angeles, and you got the Cowboys and Steelers. Saints at Chiefs is the Monday night game for week 5.
Saints and Chiefs. Oh,
Saints Chiefs.
okay.
Interesting there.
Okay.
And I'm
Very
going
nice.
going to week 6 and the Thursday night game. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. Seahawks and 49ers
Yeah, in Seattle.
in Seattle.
This is probably about as intense as the rivalry between the Steelers and the Ravens.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that rivalry peaked about 10 years ago, Timmy.
What, Steelers Ravens?
49ers Seahawks.
Oh, 49ers Seahawks. Okay, well, but they still don't like each other.
They still every time they face each other, there's still
Yeah.
There's still a lot of
happens.
a
lot of chutzpah, if you will. Yeah,
interesting word there.
you know.
Then later on that Sunday, looking down the list here, I see. This is going to be a good one. A 4:25 match on Fox. Lions at Cowboys. That would be worth watching.
Yeah. And also week 6, you have you have a lot of top quarterbacks and you have a lot of top running backs that are all going to be on the buys that week. So that's going to be a big week for the waiver wires because you're looking at Mahomes, Stafford, Tua, Kyron Williams. It depends on what his workload is. Pacheco, and then Mostert or Achane. All those running backs have bye weeks that week. So you could be judged. So you're probably going to be having to dip into the waiver wire that week.
True.
Oh yes. Always make sure you're watching those waiver wires, people.
Yeah. And then the week before you have Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, and Jared Goff, who just signed a $212 million contract extension this week, all on the bye the week before.
Yeah, so Jared Goff getting his money over in Motown.
Yeah.
They signed everybody this offseason. They signed Amon-Ra, they signed Penei Sewell, now they just signed Jared Goff. Their offense is going to be looking pretty stout for the next 3 years for those three.
Yeah, the Lions are going to be on everyone's short list as teams that could represent the NFC in the Super Bowl this season.
100%.
Oh yeah, you'd have to tell you put them in as far as the last couple of years. They've been a very good surprise. I mean, not sure about if they could be able to defend their division championship, but there is a strong possibility that they could.
Yeah, but also, I mean, the Lions are the only team in the NFC North that the pundits are giving Super Bowl expectations to this season. So,
oh yeah,
so it's their division to lose. But now can they handle the prosperity and all the media showering them with praise, unlike the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Interesting there. And I'm going to week 7 right now. The Thursday matchup for Prime Video would be the Broncos at the Saints.
Saints, okay.
So you're looking at week 7.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Oh, week 7. Oh boy.
Yes. Week 7.
We face the Colts, and there's a good possibility that I will be in attendance for that game in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Nice.
That will be my one away game.
Speaking of Lucas is in the chat.
Let's bring him in. Bring him in.
All right, let's do it.
What's up, guys?
Oh,
And
Whoa.
ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
it
man.
is our favorite Pittsburgh Steeler fan, and not only that,
That's not urinating tree.
but he is our
Meaning
defending,
defending
undisputed
undisputed
league champion.
fantasy football champion, the Football Fever League champion.
There you go.
right.
How are you, LC?
I'm good, man. Just been a long day, but I'm glad I'm able to chill now, be able to enjoy the NFL schedule coming out. And gotta say this, week 1, I will be there. Week 1 in ATL.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna be there.
Hey.
I'm getting my stuff prepared as we speak. I'm going to have everything confirmed, but I am going to be at ATL in week number 1.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson versus Kirk Cousins in week 1. Sign me up. And I actually called this. I called this for months.
He did.
This was gonna
He
happen.
called it. He said it, right? He did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
did.
did.
And I actually was crazy as I was actually going to pull up some document. I actually pulled up. Remember what I was telling Alex about this? I actually have some document. I was actually doing like a mock schedule prediction
He did some research.
all the teams.
Ooh.
I did do some research. And what's crazy is I can actually compare some of my notes to tell you guys what games or actually a few games I got right. And I called months ago.
Oh.
There's actually a few of them I got exactly right.
Ooh.
Some of them I didn't, like a good amount I didn't, but still, I called a lot of the games right. So the big one being Pittsburgh Steelers and like the Steelers and the Falcons week 1. I called that. I also called the Broncos Cowboys game. I'll be a Sunday night game, but I thought that was going to be week number 5. It was actually no, it was I called it week 6. It was actually week 5.
Yeah.
Jets, I
Yeah.
had them on ESPN on Monday Night Football, but ended up being the Giants. I did predict the Steelers would play the Giants and Jets both at home, but both on prime time. I didn't know we were going to get the Jets on Sunday Night Football, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we were saying before that the Jets have 6 primetime games their first 11 weeks, and this doesn't include the standalone game they have in London against Minnesota. So they have 7 standalone games in their first 11 weeks before their bye, week 12.
Back just a second.
And then I also have, I picked 2. So I picked the second game and the last. Actually, I picked 3 of the Steelers game correctly. Falcons, Chargers at home for the home opener, and the Bengals. I have all those games I actually predicted correctly. I predicted those on the dot, on the nose. I knew the Jaguars.
And I also, I was just taking a look at this, LC. Week 5, Sunday night.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, Cowboys and Steelers.
LC versus Tying Tim. I may actually go to
Oh,
this game. I'm
man.
not sure yet. I would love to. Just depends on if I can make it work.
So yeah, but also
I would
I
love
think
to
that
go.
I think that the tickets for that game are going to be really expensive because you have the Cowboy fans there.
Yeah, and the Cowboy fans try.
Yeah, that is true. It is going to be insanely expensive.
I'd say
They do.
maybe.
But
At
Atlanta
least
Falcons, though,
$250.
that won't be too expensive.
I don't think they would. But I was having it's because
probably more than
with people probably being a little bit down on the Falcons because of their draft buffoonery.
True.
Right.
That is true. I also predicted another one of the ones I actually got right. Where I'm actually crazy. I was able to call it pretty much nearly dead on set. Chiefs versus Saints on a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I got correctly. There's a couple others I got correctly, like on there. Let me see if I could pull up any other. Colts. Else, if I could pull up anything else, I don't think there's too much else I got right, like 100% right. I did predict the Jets and 49ers to be a primetime game, just not. I predict the merger on NFL Network. And then the offensive Rams on Sunday Night Football. That's actually or Monday Night Football. That's gonna be really good.
Where are we at? Which week are we at?
That is week number. Let me see. Miami. You play the Rams week number 10.
Week 10,
Rams.
yes.
Yeah, I just
Interesting. Whose house? Swerve's house.
Swerve's
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, I was just looking down week 7 here. Take a look.
Colts Dolphins. Just saying, I'm going to be there.
Is that a primetime game, Alex?
That's
No,
that's
that's
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock
you're-
on Fox.
1 o'clock. That is my away game. I am set on it. I'm going to Indianapolis.
You're going to go to Indianapolis? I thought you would want to go to Houston.
I'm going to the Colts. I want to see Lucas Oil Stadium. I think that's one of the best. It's widely rated as one of the best stadiums to see a game. So,
Hold on.
Go.
Patrick Starr says, I predict LC won't cook and pick him yet again. Let me tell you about my stash from last year when I pick him. I was the number 1 overall seed in Max Pick'em tournament. I won Dashy's Pick'em League by 6 games. So I pretty much won before even though the conference championship round was over. I won $1,000 in my competitive Pick'em League. So I know I'm going to be cooking again this year. And last year I almost won Dashy's League last year. I'm getting better each and every year. I'm going to be first again this year. I'm the defending champion for a reason.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'm the defending champion for a reason. Fantasy Football
Yes.
Fever, I'm defending champion. Mash Dashy's Pick'em
Right.
League, I'm defending champion. Number 1 seed last year at Max Pick'em tournament. Like, I'm doing pretty good. And the Steelers have a great schedule. I love the Steelers schedule, man.
I'd say LC is doing just fine.
Yeah, it's pretty favorable, at least for the first half of the season, because when you're looking at whoever the quarterback's going to be for Pittsburgh, and then maybe again it gets a motivated production out of Najee Harris, whom I believe the Steelers declined his 5th-year option.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so
Call me crazy. I'm going to go bold here. Steelers have a top 5 rushing offense in the league.
yeah, so I think the Steelers' offensive line is going to be excellent this year.
It's going to be amazing. I think we have a top 5 running offense in the league this year. I think the Steelers, the big thing for this year is I think we're going to really develop the run this year and then go for the passing when needed. I think at this point, Russell Wilson at his point of his career, he doesn't need to make the big plays. He just needs to be efficient and be smart. And I think you could do that with a big running game. Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, and Cordell Patterson for a 3rd down if you need them.
Yeah. And then if they do turn to Justin Fields, imagine that offense and needing to run the ball in the cold weather and the cold and the wind. So having all those cats together, I think that could be pretty spicy.
It can be.
Spicy.
I'm
Be
surprised.
careful, though. It's spicy.
And
Just like the Danger Witch.
And also with Arthur Smith's emphasis on running the football, that we saw it when he was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee. We saw him to try to run the ball more when he was with Atlanta. But I think now you got to see why the Falcons initially hired Arthur Smith in the first place with Pittsburgh.
I'm
True.
excited, though, for this year.
Yeah.
I'm excited for all the primetime games. If I have to go to another Steeler game, but I realistically would love to go to another one. If I had to pick realistically which one I would love to go to, I'm not going to go to Philly again. I've been to Philly. I would love to go on Christmas. Maybe Cincinnati at home, the last game of the season. I don't know yet. But
Oh.
right now, I'm 100% going to the Atlanta Falcons game. Maybe if I don't go to Dallas, I might go to Las Vegas instead, depending on prices. I'd love to go to see Vegas and go see if Raider Ben's going to go to that game. I'm not sure. But
Ben.
you don't know Raider Ben? He's got a great
Raider Ben,
channel.
what a legend.
He's a legend. Well, who knows what this year's going to have, but definitely week 1 I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at week 7. Week 7, a couple of late games here. The Kansas City Chiefs at the San Francisco 49ers, 4:25 on Fox.
How is that not a Sunday night game?
I think Fox wanted to carry that game because I think with the media stuff, I think the CBS and Fox picked certain games they want to air because they know there'll be ratings bonanzas. So like like week 11 is Chiefs, Bills, and Buffalo. That's definitely a game that CBS wanted to carry. So
absolutely, I could see that.
Hell yeah.
I will say though, I am very excited. Just in general, though, this year should be a good year for just in general with all the primetime games. I think they did a pretty good job. I'm just overall excited to see realistically how the AFC North will look because if you looked at the schedules, most of the AFC North games on Pittsburgh's schedule are the second half of the year, and same with Baltimore. They pretty much packed the schedules with just divisional games near the end of the year, which is actually crazy.
And the thing is that in terms of breaking ties in the division after the head-to-head, the next tiebreaker after that is the division records. So all these games are going to be big down the stretch.
And the good thing is you also have the debut of Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady for 425 Cleveland Dallas game.
Yeah. We were discussing that earlier. Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Sunday.
Sucks for Greg Olsen though.
And Greg Olsen is going to be paired with Joe Davis.
That's not bad.
Where's Moose?
Yeah, where's the Moose? So who's Moose going to be paired up with?
Yeah, where's Daryl Johnston?
Not sure yet.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where Daryl Johnston should be. He should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Facts.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for Daryl Johnston, Emmitt Smith probably would have not become the NFL's all-time leading rusher.
That is true.
Yep.
That is
anyway.
So, but I think Fox will announce the official list of pairings later on before the season starts. But
yeah, I was looking at Week 7 Sunday night Jets at Steelers. That will be interesting.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers against taking on the Steelers and Mike Tomlin again.
Yeah.
And also, I think, one thing to note: one of the Monday night games is going to be an ESPN Plus exclusive. You got the Chargers going to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. That's an ESPN Plus game.
Yes, so
you
gotta pay. So you gotta pay a little something here, which I do because I have ESPN Plus. So
well, there you go.
But not really on my time.
Yep.
I'm looking at Week 8 now.
Everybody plays Week 8.
Yeah, no buys in Week 8. Everybody gets on the field, including the Sunday night game in Week 8.
Okay, who's Sunday night? Let's see.
Cowboys
hey Bob. Hey Bob and Tiny Tim.
Gotta get it going though. I know.
I mean, it's going to be a Dallas team coming off their bye weeks, and the Cowboys usually pretty good coming off their bye weeks because they have the extra week of rest.
Wait a minute. There's 4 teams on buys in Week 5. That's terrible. Yes. That's so bad. And 4 teams on week 6. Man, they're going to be in tough pickle. Man.
One of them is us. Yay!
Well, Chiefs deserve it. Chiefs, I can say deserve it, but not the Dolphins.
Deserve it.
They've
been back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Give them a tougher chance to repeat. Come on, make it tough.
One of the things I mentioned before we came on, Luke, is that the quarterbacks that are going to have their buys weeks 5 and 6 because you got Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts in week 5, and then you have Patrick Mahomes, Tua, Matthew Stafford, and then week 6 JJ McCarthy as well. So there's going to be a good chance that you're going to have to find a quarterback from the waiver wire going into that week, or draft a backup quarterback early on if you're so hell bent on it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Colorado just scored.
So what's
Damn
now
it.
five? What's now 5-3
now.
5-3 now, so it looks like we'll be
Damn
heading
it.
to game 6.
Yep, game 6, just like Panthers, unfortunately.
Like Panthers and the Rangers.
Yeah, Panthers and the Rangers. I didn't watch the Panthers game because I was out on a date last night, but I was able to catch the highlights of it. Yeah, I never thought you'd be hearing that thing, but yeah, no, that was I went on a date last night.
Oh.
Yeah, otherwise though, I wish I saw a little bit of the Panthers game, but it'll be good to watch on Friday night. Even though Friday night I actually got football, so I'll probably catch the second half. I'll probably catch the third period of the game if the football game doesn't go into freaking way too late. But it's a
Right.
spring football game, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nathan McKinnon,
interesting.
48th career playoff goal.
Yeah, I see an interesting game in week 8.
What's that?
4:05 on Fox. No, it's going to be 4:25. It's the Eagles against the Bengals.
Yeah.
That'll be a good Dashies game. That'll be a good one.
Whoa.
Week
That'll be
1
very
though.
interesting.
Oh, real quick. Week 1. What do you think's the marquee game? Steelers Falcons.
Among the
Lions.
whole schedule, Thursday through Monday.
Sunday. Just Sunday games. Just a CBS game. Like, who is going to get the CBS game of the week?
No. So actually, only Fox is getting a doubleheader for week 1 this year.
What?
Only Fox.
That's really strange.
And the main game is going to be the Cowboys and the Browns.
Right. I know that's going to be the fact, but I'm surprised that they don't have like a CBS game of the week for it either. That's really weird.
Yeah.
For week. Well, Steelers Falcons, I'll be there, so it doesn't matter too much because I'll be able to catch the 4:00 games,
Right.
which will be the Raiders, Chargers, Broncos, Seahawks, Cowboys, Browns, and Washington Redskins. Sorry, I said what I said. Versus the Buccaneers, and then I'll be able to catch the Sunday night game too. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. Just in general, week 1 should be fun. This looks like a good, fun week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I would have loved this, even though I have one question, why did they make it seem like they had to move times for the Baltimore Orioles game for the Ravens if they didn't end up hosting a game? That makes no sense to me because that's September 8th. They were supposed to the Orioles were supposed to play 1:35. Oh, we're gonna move it up to 12:05. We were all thinking the Ravens were going to get a Sunday night game. Well, not anymore.
It's obviously because of the Sunday leadoff on Roku. So they moved some of those games up to where Peacock was the last couple of years.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
Alex,
but
are you going to go any Dolphin?
What's up?
Oh yeah, actually, John, you finished first. I'm sorry, you finished first. I thought John was done talking. I'm sorry.
The games on CBS week 1 are Cardinals at Bills, Patriots at Bengals, Texans at Colts, Jaguars and Dolphins. So I'm trying to figure out which game is going to be the Nance Romo game.
Maybe
Steelers,
Jaguars.
Cardinals.
Yeah,
No, I think the
Falcons-
Iron Eagles
the
going to get
Steelers-
the Jaguars Dolphins.
Yeah, the
No, give us
Steelers
Kevin
Falcons
Harlan.
game is on Fox.
It is. I thought it was on CBS.
Huh.
Steelers Falcons. I did not.
I thought that says CBS. I swear
I
I thought it
the
said CBS.
Steelers Falcons is on Fox.
Let me go back because I have the NFL thing. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, I know Steelers Broncos is on CBS.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, I think Tim wanted to go back to week 8.
Yeah, I'm
go right ahead. But
here.
Alex, are you going any games? Dolphin home games?
Possibly.
Dude,
Possibly. Not
that
sure which ones though.
Dolphins Bills games are cool, man.
Okay,
Dolphins Bills,
I
you
just
gotta go to that one. That would be the fun game.
I just heard about it, but I forgot what week it was. It was supposed to be the Harbaugh Bowl.
Yes, I
Let's
think
see,
that is week
Ravens.
11 actually.
Oh, that's on
Week 12.
12.
Oh, week 12. Sorry, 1 week. Week 12, and it's on a Monday Night Football game.
Yep, the Monday before Thanksgiving.
How
It's crazy. I
how
predicted Ravens
appropriate.
Chargers Monday Night Football, but on week 1.
The Harbaugh
So-
Bowl, Week 12, Monday night, prime time. That is box office right there again.
Yeah.
That is box office right there. I mean, you got some good primetime matchups here. I'm looking at Week 9. Interesting Thursday game. Very interesting. Texans versus Jets.
Yep.
Ooh.
On Halloween night.
On Halloween night.
Halloween night. Wow.
Halloween night. Wow.
Yeah, you're going to have Stroud against Rodgers. That is, oh. I mean,
That's
you're talking
spooky to
about
say the
difference
least.
in ages.
That's
Yeah.
spooky.
And then,
That's spooky.
yeah, very spooky. Another game that's spooky is on that Sunday, a 1 o'clock game. Dolphins going to Buffalo to take on the Bills.
Week 1.
Oh boy, that should be another interesting one. We'll see how that turns out.
I hope Gare Bear watches it.
He won't.
Yeah.
He won't.
And the Monday night game for Week 9 would be Tampa Bay at Kansas City, which I think that's kind of a no-brainer there, I guess.
And
I mean, you have Jaguars Eagles as your Sunday night game. Doug Peterson goes back to Philly once again.
Oh, yes.
But now the question is because one thing I talked about earlier was Jacksonville's unfavorable schedule. That if Jacksonville gets off to a bad start, is Doug Peterson going to be fired before that night?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
I think they keep him on until
End of this year. End of the year,
the
I
end of the
think.
year.
Yeah.
If they don't make the playoffs, then maybe that's another story.
Yeah.
It's a week 9. You got the Browns and the Chargers in Cleveland.
Ooh.
Nice.
Justin Herbert against Deshaun Watson. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There's some,
like it.
there's some good games though. You're on week 9, you said, Tiny Tim.
Well, I just turned the page over to Week 10 right now.
Oh, you're
and,
on week 10. Ooh, okay.
and a Thursday night matchup, Bengals at Ravens, a big AFC North
That is
matchup
a
right there.
big game.
Yeah, in fact, I think right now the AFC North would probably have to be the most competitive going into this year.
Oh, absolutely. That is one of the toughest divisions by far, man. Holy crap.
And let's see here. Let's see who else is on the schedule here. Anything that I would be interested in? Dallas at home against the Eagles, 4:25 on CBS.
Detroit Lions with Dallas Cowboys week 6. Oh, that's also another big game that I have to
Only if Brad Allen refs it.
Brad Allen refs it, but it's not a primetime game, which I thought it was going to be.
Damn it.
Oh, that time. Week 10 Sunday night, interesting game. Lions at Texans.
That'll be a really good game. Low key, that's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, the Lions and Texans both have 2 Sunday night games this year, which is very rare for the given the history of those franchises.
And then the Monday night game for that week, Dolphins at Rams.
Whose house? Dolphins' house.
Dolphin. Yep.
And then you have the game in Germany between the Panthers and the Giants, a standalone
I
game.
feel so bad for Germany for that.
Oh my god, that's
really
gonna be
do.
so awful.
That's gonna be. Oh, that's not good.
But I think I knew that was coming because I think the NFL expanded like their international stuff to include the Giants for
Yes.
Germany. So I think you had to figure that was coming.
Right.
Let's see. Week 10, you have the Browns, so it's probably Nick Chubb and
If he's healthy.
If he's healthy. And then Josh Jacobs for the Packers.
Josh Jacobs. I just love that call from Ben. It's on my YouTube channel. That Raider Ben call with Josh Jacobs scoring the game-winning touchdown against Seattle is just freaking iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on my YouTube channel. You guys have not seen that. That is one of the best game reactions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And,
speaking of Raiders, Steelers game week 6
In Vegas.
That would be a good. I would love to go see that game. I can't go to Steelers Cowboys. That's another game. I would love to go see that game. That'd be a game I would love to go see.
Yeah. Yeah, too bad it's over in it's over in Heinz Field. It's still called Heinz Field, damn it.
That's
No,
right.
It's to us it's called Heinz Field.
Yeah.
Acrisure.
I don't care what they call it. It's still Heinz Field to me.
In case you wanted to know, it's Acrisure Stadium.
Acrisure. I'll have to look that up. That must be something.
It's an insurance company.
Yeah, I know. I was there.
Well, I'll tell you this: Acrisure don't call it Acrisure Stadium.
Yeah. Well, Alex, next year we're both going to Pittsburgh. Next year we're both going.
Wait, what?
Because Miami plays in Pittsburgh next year.
Oh, that
We gotta go next year.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, week 11 starts on a Thursday with the Commanders at the Eagles, which I think will be kind of a one-sided affair, maybe.
Yeah, I just don't have a good read on Washington this year, but it's because they could be good, and Jaden Daniels coming off the Heisman could surprise people, but I just don't love the roster compared to what they have and what their schedule's like.
Here's
We're
the thing,
still, I
though.
mean, we're still kind of us Cowboy fans. We're still kind of singing over the loss of Dan Quinn, who of course is now the head coach of the Commanders. But
Dan, I mean, if you're a Commanders fan, like, does Dan Quinn like really excite you as a head coach?
Nope.
no,
Not
he didn't.
really.
He didn't excite me in Atlanta.
That's true. Here's the thing, though, that you guys have to find interesting. Eagles. Remember when the Eagles were undefeated for a while, and guess who beat them?
Jets.
Washington.
Yeah.
Washington.
Did something similar happen this coming year?
I mean, we could take a look because let's take a look at their schedule surrounding that for Washington because Week 8 is the matchup between Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels in Washington. Week 8, and then they're at the Giants. Week 9, home against Pittsburgh. Week 10 at Philly versus Dallas versus Tennessee. At the last column of on the graphic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Oh yeah. Very, very interesting.
I mean, I think Washington's roster 1 through 53 is better than that of the Giants.
That's true.
Yeah.
And looking down, I'm looking down week 11 right now. Raiders at Dolphins, 1:00 Eastern, CBS.
Minshew Mania, brother.
Minshew Mania.
In Miami.
In Miami.
Miami.
So that might be a game you're going to. You might decide to go to.
Possibly.
Chiefs at Bills, late game on CBS.
Yeah.
And the Monday night matchup in week 11, the I-45 showdown.
Houston and Dallas.
That's
Yeah.
my game of the week.
That'd be such
Yeah,
a
that's
great game. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean it's not as great as what we used to have when it was the Cowboys versus the Oilers.
Right.
I mean, I really do miss that, but still, Cowboys and Texans for all the bragging rights in the Lone Star State. I love it.
I knew it was going to be a primetime game. I knew it was going to be
Same.
a Monday night.
And also week 11, the Raiders Dolphins. The Raiders will be coming off their bye week that week.
Oh,
So
That's true.
So the Raiders have 2 weeks to get ready for that game.
Oh,
I actually
Yes,
had
they
Cowboys and Texans being week 17 when I originally did my predictions. I had them being week 17 on ESPN, being the last Monday night game, being one of the last Monday night games of the year.
oh,
That would have been a good one. And I did have the Chiefs playing on Christmas or on that Saturday before.
Yeah,
So
and,
pretty much I had a lot of good
both.
predictions that came true,
Yeah.
including Ravens hosting the Ravens on NBC. I didn't know what week though.
right.
Mhm.
So I got some good picks, man. I got some good picks right this year, man. I'm happy.
I am looking at week 12 as we're going back and going to the latter part of November when things start getting interesting. Prime
Are there any
video games
that don't have
Thursday
any
night.
have zero primetime games? That's what I was saying.
Carolina has 0 primetime games.
Carolina's the only team. Are they the only team without a primetime game at all?
I'd say if you exclude the one international game they have no primetime games.
That's insane.
And
New England has
it's pretty deserved too.
New York Jets.
Yeah,
I mean,
looking
they
at-
have two. Patriots have 2 primetime games.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're still in rebuilding mode, I guess.
That's just some of these teams that are getting primetime games just surprise me. Tennessee only has 1. That's the Dolphins again. Well, at least you could get revenge, Alex.
And it's not even the standalone window that that night because they have a doubleheader.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
Yeah.
Because one of them's on ABC, so.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yes,
at,
sir.
looking at week 12, starting with Pittsburgh at Cleveland on the Thursday night game.
Again, one of those key AFC North tilts.
Right. Then I see Vikings at Bears as a 1:00 game on Fox. Always interesting to see those two.
I think it's going to be a super intrigue. Those Bears Vikings games because you have the first meeting is week 12 in Chicago, and then week 15 you got a Monday night game with JJ McCarthy and Caleb Williams potentially.
That's interesting.
I mean, I wanted the Bears to be in primetime week 1 because that would be a great spot for Caleb Williams to make his NFL debut. But
They got him week 2.
Yep, week 2, his first road game will be his first primetime game.
And I believe
really interesting.
I believe if I'm not mistaken, week 12 is also the first matchup with the Cowboys and the Commanders, which of course
Dan Quinn's return.
it used to be the great rivalry of the Cowboys and the Redskins, which was
Still is.
Still is.
Yeah.
Still is.
Still the Redskins, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's been so one-sided the last decade. Though.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it has.
oh, yeah. It's not,
Week 12, looking at some of the key fantasy players on buys that we got: Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London all on buys. You got Josh Allen, you got Joe Burrow, you got Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, Derek Carr all on buys.
Oh, 49ers at Packers, 4:25 on Fox in week 12. That is, I'm going to circle that one.
That'll be a good one.
That's going to be a game of the week right there.
Especially if Jordan Love performs the way he did down the stretch of the season last year.
Oh yeah. See much of anything else that tickles my fancy as far as big time games for that week.
The Sunday night game is Eagles Rams.
Eagles Rams. That will be an interesting matchup right there.
I feel like both teams are going to score 30 points that night. So if you have AJ Brown, if you have Devontae Smith, or Captain Cool. So I think you might want to start as many of players of those as possible if you have them.
All right.
What's
so-
interesting is also there was one thing I was going to bring up: the Giants Steelers Monday night game. It's the second time in a row in the history though the Giants and Steelers have played each other on Monday Night Football.
Yep,
Because they played in 2020. They played in 2020 on Monday night at New York.
Oh, yeah.
It's the first game of the season, and now they're playing again on Monday night in Week 8.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
But I mean,
Crazy.
two of the traditional franchises in the NFL.
They are.
And like they always get a big spotlight whenever those two are going at it. Whether it's the late game or prime time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I switching over. I'm now looking at week 13, which is probably my favorite week of the year, which is
Thanksgiving.
Oh, man.
I'll be in
Yes.
New Jersey. I'll probably be in New Jersey during the week. I just don't know when yet, but I'm going up for my cousin's wedding. It's actually that
Oh,
Saturday,
yeah.
and I have off work the whole week, so
Well, how about that?
that'll be a nice mini vacation for me.
All right, the Thanksgiving hors d'oeuvres will be served by the Bears at the Lions.
I really wish the Jaguars would have gotten a Thanksgiving game. They've never gotten one before.
Oh,
They're one of the only
I don't
teams
think
that
they
never
have
have a
either.
Thanksgiving game is the Jaguars. And I predicted it. They were
You'll
the
see.
Jaguars and Lions,
Yeah.
but nope.
Yeah, but I think that the two small markets, I think the NFL didn't want for the because it might be bad. It might be lesser ratings than if let's say if it's Chicago because it's a big market. So hence why you have
Yeah. Then, of course, the main course, of course, will be the New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys, and then the dessert. Oh boy, better get ready for this one, Pizzle. Dolphins at Packers.
at Lambeau Field.
It's funny because the one game I wanted to go to was Green Bay, and the 2 weeks I can't travel because of work or Thanksgiving and Christmas. And guess what the NFL does? They schedule the Dolphins and Packers at Thanksgiving. Jeez.
Wow,
God damn it.
man,
Trust me, I
I
wanted to go
feel.
see Steelers Raiders on Thanksgiving. I wanted to go see Steelers Raiders, and I couldn't see that on Christmas.
Speaking of Raiders, the Raiders play against Kansas City on Black Friday.
I find that interesting as another divisional game for Black Friday. It's definitely
Yeah.
interesting to say the least. Like, I don't mind it, but it's just
It's but like fans gonna like the new fans kind of probably want to see the shots of Taylor.
not only
Well, of
that. The
course.
thing is also it's a rematch of the Christmas game this year too.
Raiders
Last
at
year was
Chiefs.
that Christmas game.
Yeah, that was Christmas. That was a Christmas game last year. I remember because I saw it. And the Sunday, Thanksgiving Sunday, I see Steelers versus Bengals in Cincinnati, 1 Eastern on Fox or CBS. Then I see who else do I see interesting here? Eagles at Ravens, 425 CBS. Then Sunday night.
Game.
Sunday night is 49ers at Bills Sunday night. And then you got and then you got the Browns at the Broncos for Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
Close out Thanksgiving week.
I think another big matchup that week that I think should be worth monitoring. It's the second match of the season between the Texans and the Jaguars in Jacksonville, Week 13.
Ooh.
That might be a really big game for Trevor Lawrence in terms of him potentially getting in terms of the Jaguars spot in terms of playoff implications.
Yeah.
Where can you download the NFL Grid? I think you could download it on either on I think it's on Twitter.
It's that's where that picture's from. The graphic you see.
Oh, that's where he found it. Going into the first full week of December, when the games get really important, got Green Bay and Detroit on Thursday night, week 14.
Six teams with the bye week 14 is total bullshit. Because
I agree. I 100% agree.
The last week of the fantasy regular season before the playoffs, and you have nearly a fourth of your fantasy players not playing that week where you need to win to make the playoffs. That's total bullshit.
Total ridiculous.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, I mean, the interesting thing last year, there were only two teams on bye, and the Cardinals and the Commanders.
Oh, what my gosh! What is Roger thinking?
He's not.
I don't think he cares about fantasy football that much, unless
He cares about money.
Not
he cares
really.
about money.
Yeah. On top of that, he's thinking about adding an extra week to the season.
Another week's the season.
No.
Yeah, week 18.
Yeah.
coming soon.
On top of that, he was thinking.
That week 18 though is going to be like the one where it's like insanely flex. So like you can flex any game. That's the one thing they were probably doing it for.
So whatever's left of week 14 after all those other teams on the bye, we got the Bears at Niners 425.
Ooh.
That's going to be a baptism of fire right there for what's his name?
Yes.
Oh, Caleb Williams. And then also the Thursday night games, Green Bay and Detroit.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that, and I just think the players that are going to be on bye that week 14. Thinking of Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson,
Jordan Love.
and then in terms of receivers, Terry McLaurin, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Michael Pittman,
Christian Watson.
Oh yeah, Michael Pittman Jr. Yes. So you're gonna be in actually the Packers bye is week 10, not 14.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I meant to say I meant to say the Ravens.
Yeah.
The Ravens are on bye week 14.
I saw more.
No Lamar Jackson. No.
Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon. Because Joe Mixon's now with the Texans.
There's going to be a ton of good players that's going to be off that week. It's crazy.
Which is like the one thing when you're thinking about it, which could be big which could play a role in some of the fantasy strategy leading up to that week.
Yeah, and an interesting Monday night football game for week 14. You're going to have Joe Burrow taking on Dak Prescott at Jerry World. That'll be a very interesting one right there. And then I'm looking at week 15 now. You got
the start of fantasy playoffs, and these matchups are really going to matter. Because that's really a point of emphasis we need to make here with all this because last year in my other league I had Tyreek Hill, who had an amazing first couple 3 months of the season, and then he ran into Sauce Gardner, Devon Bland, and the Ravens 3 weeks in a row. Sure. And I was out of the playoffs, despite scoring the most points in my league during the regular season.
That's true. Also, what I also saw, I read this. The 49ers, Jets, and Cowboys have the most primetime games, but not yet the Chiefs.
Yeah. So, but I think the Chiefs also have the two games that in week 16 and 17 with the Texans and the Steelers.
They do.
It's also the Chiefs have a lot of 425 games.
Yep.
So where it's going to be the main game.
Yeah,
that is true as well.
Yeah, I mean, think of the Chargers, the 49ers, the Bills games. Cincinnati is a big one.
It'll be interesting to say the least.
Yeah, so in week 15, when the playoffs,
Bye weeks are
fantasy
done.
playoffs really, and fantasy playoffs are in full swing. I got the Rams. We got the Rams and the Niners on Thursday night football. Then I see uh, Bills at Lions 4:25 on CBS. I wouldn't mind seeing that one.
It's yeah. I mean, the Bills first couple weeks of fantasy playoffs have favorable schedules. But I don't know. Maybe not. Although the Jets don't play well on the road against quality teams, so I think you could see Josh Allen be one of the fantasy MVPs of the playoffs. So because he's going to be asked to do a lot more now that Stephon Diggs is not walking through that door in Orchard Park.
Right. And another 4:25 game that week, the Battle of Pennsylvania, Steelers at Eagles.
Yeah, the Steelers players have a tough fantasy playoff schedule. They're at Philly, at Baltimore, and then versus Kansas City on a short week.
Green Bay and Seattle, that's the Sunday night game for that week. And yet another stinking Monday Night Football doubleheader. Bears at Vikings this time, and then you got the Falcons at the Raiders. But
That will be a low key.
That should be a good one.
I mean, if the Raiders keep playing hard for Antonio Pierce like they did toward the end of last season, I think that could be a sneaky game in terms of the Raiders being in that wild card mix in the AFC. But we'll have to see about the quarterback play, which is super important here.
That's true.
Yeah, but that Bears Vikings game, I'm going to circle that one too. And we go now into I'm going to week 16 now, and week 16 Thursday night game is the Battle of Ohio. Yeah, it's the Browns and Bengals.
Yeah, but that's going to be a tough matchup for Joe Burrow, man.
Yeah, that's going to be a really tough one. Then you got two Saturday games, one on NBC at 1 Eastern. That's the Texans at the Chiefs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you got a Fox game at 4:30 Eastern. It's the Steelers at the Ravens. Of course,
Steelers at the Ravens. That'll be an interesting game, especially because that'll be on a Saturday game and it'll be a big Steeler game. And it's also another fact that this is Steelers Ravens was also on a Saturday game last year. Week 7, like the last game of the season last year, was also on a Saturday.
Yeah, and also I think what's interesting is that the NFL is going to be competing against college football because the college football playoff begins that weekend because with the new expanded playoff.
Yep.
So I think
the brand new playoffs. I cannot believe that starts this year.
It's the teams 5 through 12 are playing. We are on that Saturday or a period close to it.
That's insane that it starts this year. It's so much crazy stuff with sports in general, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah, because you got the 12-team college football playoff is absolutely bonkers. But the transfer portal, I will say this though, transfer portal is ruining all college sports.
Yes, it's because the NCAA has no idea how to regulate it.
No, you do not.
Nope.
Nope.
Kind of like they've gotten out of control.
Well, FAU, it helped out FAU a little bit, but they lost some.
Hey, Dasher.
Oh, hey, Dasher.
Dasher. Ooh, banana.
Sorry, Dashy. I don't have that one. And if it did, it probably would have taken me about as much time as it did for Alex to come up with that. So sorry about that, Dashy, but good to have you watching the show. Love you, brother.
Yes, sir.
The Sunday game, Sunday before Christmas. Lions go to Chicago to take on the Bears. Big division game there.
Is that a 1 o'clock game or a 4 o'clock game?
That is definitely a 1 o'clock game on Fox.
Okay.
Excellent.
Looking at some of the late games.
We got the
Vikings,
49ers. Oh,
49ers at Dolphins. Ooh.
So
it might be another A-bomb matchup right there, Lucas.
yeah, I mean, if I think if Talanoa Hufanga, the first team All-Pro safety from a couple years ago, is healthy, I think San Francisco is going to smoke the Dolphins that weekend.
We'll see.
Yeah, I see. There's an interesting matchup here: Vikings at Seahawks.
That's an interesting one. I like
that. We got. This is going to be a no-brainer. The Sunday night game is Tampa Bay at Dallas. That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 2 years ago, a Sunday night game, week 1, Tom Brady versus Dak Prescott?
And
Tom Brady's last.
Then 8 years ago, Tampa and Dallas was flexed into Sunday Night Football.
That's true.
Yeah.
They were.
Is it because the Bucs were in the playoff conversation then?
And then came that glorious playoff game where the Cowboys did something for the first time ever. They beat Tom Brady.
Yeah. And it was also their
Tom Brady.
It's also their only road playoff game since the '92 NFC Championship.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. And then the Saints and the Packers have the Monday nighter in that week.
That should be interesting.
Should be.
That'd be an interesting matchup.
And also remember last year, when these two teams met up, the Saints had a 17-0 lead, and then the Packers came all the way back and won, and that was the difference between the teams making and missing the playoffs. So because the Packers were able to get past the Saints because of the tiebreaker,
right?
That's where they were.
So if the Saints are in the wild card conversation, and I do think they have a roster good enough to be in that conversation, that could be a really big game with playoff implications.
Oh, yes, it could. Yes, it could. And, we're going to week 17, which is Christmas week.
Yeah,
and we have
fantasy championship weekend for most.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And there's two games on Christmas Day, and they're both going to be on Netflix.
One of them.
Not a fan of that.
I'm not either. I still appreciate they get to play the Chiefs, so it'll be a good thing.
The matchups are Chiefs at Steelers at 1 Eastern on Netflix, and then the 4:30 game is Ravens at Texans.
Yeah, a rematch of last year's divisional playoff game where the Ravens beat the Texans 34-10.
True, but I think that CJ Stroud is going to have a lot more experience this time around, and the Ravens aren't nearly as good defensively.
Right, but it's because of the loss of Mike McDonald, there was a superstar defensive coordinator to Seattle as their new head coach.
That's right.
Accurate.
One I have my eye on that week is Seattle and Detroit rematch of NFC Championship.
San Francisco and Detroit, you mean?
San Francisco, Detroit will be a great game.
Detroit, yeah.
Oh yes. I'll mark that one down. Then we have the Cowboys and the Eagles at 4:25 on Fox.
Yeah, that could be a game that might decide the division.
Senator Romy.
It very much could. Senator Romy, chickens are always better than chickens.
That's true. Chickens are always better than chickens.
Does he still have a mustache?
He still has a mustache.
Still has a mustache.
Senator Romy still has a mustache.
How wonderful is that?
It's crazy to think about.
Then I forgot, 1 o'clock game on Fox, week 17. Packers at Vikings. That will be one that I'll be keeping my eye on.
And I think the fact that it's indoors, I think it might play well for someone like Justin Jefferson.
Oh yes.
So and given that Justin Jefferson has killed the Packers throughout his career, that could be I mean, he could easily have an eight reception, 160-yard game that day and a touchdown.
I could see that happening. I could see that happening. And finally, week 18, where every single team plays on that Sunday, January 5th, 2025.
Where chaos reigns supreme.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
All division matchups, because that's how we like it.
Yeah, and I think going back to weeks 15 through 17, I already thought there are like two teams that have really tough schedules in terms of fantasy opponents. I'm looking at the Steelers. I'm looking at the Dolphins. They both have difficult schedules. The weeks 15 through 17. What's up? Teams that have somewhat of a favorable schedule, in terms of fantasy. I'm looking at a team like the Baltimore Ravens. I'm looking at the Falcons as a team with favorable schedule because the Falcons have the Raiders, Giants, and Washington. For those 3 weeks. So if you're looking at someone like Drake London or Kyle Pitts, I think they'll be able to get a lot of opportunities to make some big plays. I think the Chicago Bears have somewhat of a favorable schedule.
So you got the Panthers at the Falcons, Commanders at Cowboys, Chiefs at Broncos. I think Chiefs will probably already have the division before then. Minnesota, Detroit. I'd say Green Bay. Green Bay will probably. Green Bay. I think it may come down to this final week to determine the NFC North champions. It'll either be Green Bay or Detroit. I'm kind of leaning toward Detroit, but don't count Green Bay out. Don't count Jordan Love out. Don't count him out here.
Because all you need is love.
Love is all you need.
It's a Green Bay schedule weeks 15 through 17 at Seattle versus New Orleans at Minnesota.
Yeah. So
let's see. Another team with other teams with somewhat favorable schedules. I think the 49ers have a favorable playoff schedule, fantasy playoff schedule, because they have the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Lions. So that'd be prime real estate for Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy and Deebo Samuel and others.
Oh yeah. I just can't see. I'll just have to wait until we do our divisional previews because I think right now, in my opinion, the toughest division to call will probably be the NFC South.
The NFC South and the AFC North will be tough.
The NFC North will be anyone's division if the Vikings overperform.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised though, because I think Kevin O'Connell, having him as a offensive coach to teach JJ what it's like to play in the NFL, I think that might be a big deal.
That's true. It could be.
Yeah, I think, but I think the only difference is, in my opinion, the AFC North is going to be entertaining, while the NFC South will be kind of blah.
We'll have to figure out who's going to win the last part of the season.
Yeah. Now. So, yeah, that's
That's that.
Yeah, very, very interesting schedule there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess that's the schedule there. Oh, one thing I didn't mention this before we started the show, but I wanted to get Alex's take on his trip to Detroit during the NFL draft.
Oh man, that
Let's put Putnam on the full screen.
No,
you
you
you gotta tell him about this.
Yeah, that's
don't have to put me on
that's a
full
good.
screen. You don't have to put me on full
Yes,
screen.
Alex. The
Yes,
pizzle on
yes,
the
yes.
screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so day 1 and 2. Day 1 we went to Buffalo Wild Wings to watch round 1 of the draft, me and my friends. And then day 2 we went to Buffalo Wild Wings. We just stayed at a Buffalo Wild Wings, watched rounds 2 and 3. And then round 3 was the day we actually went to Detroit, and that was absolutely amazing. It felt like a rock concert mixed with football. Everyone's just chilling, drinking beer, talking about sports, smoking a little weed, meeting players. I met Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is the number 1 receiver of the Detroit Lions. Yeah, and it was a hell of a time. Absolutely would highly recommend anybody going to an NFL draft when you get the chance. Actually,
When it comes to Pittsburgh, I'm going to go.
Now there's me and Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Holy free holies.
The sun god himself. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So,
And there's
so
there's
got no
me on
shot.
the stage.
You and the stage.
And the Dolphins are on the clock.
Oh, so the Dolphins were on the clock while you shot that selfie.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, and Adam Schefter says hi.
Hey, what's up, Shefty?
Schefter.
Hey.
There's Peter Schrager right there, NFL Network. Let's see who else we got. Charles Davis.
Peter Schrager's had a pretty damn good track record of picking Super Bowl winners preseason.
And of course, Rich Eisen.
Run, Rich, run.
Run, Rich, run.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. Yes. And yeah,
So
that was
does anybody have any idea where next year's draft going to be?
Green Bay.
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Alex, because your draft reaction to Chop Robinson is on TNT is on TPS. So would you mind if we played it for 1 second?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Chop Robinson.
Oh yes, that was so cool. That was so cool when I saw that on YouTube. So cool, my man Alex.
Yeah.
Y'all watch this. This is cool.
There's DDW, Douglas Durong, the biggest Dolphins YouTuber on
Chop.
YouTube.
That's pretty awesome.
Chop Robinson.
Chop. Yeah.
That's right. Josh Allen, Drake, May, Aaron Rodgers. You about to get chopped down. Courtesy of Chop Robinson.
Oh man, that was so cool. So I'm so glad that you had a great time in Motown there, Alex.
Yes, indeed. I was the only Dolphins fan there. I saw quite a few Cowboys fans, not gonna lie. I said
Cowboys
fans. Regards.
Cowboy fans usually travel well.
Yes, they do.
They do.
And of course, there's
And
Cowboy
LC's
fans all over. So
And LC's still number 1 in fantasy football.
still
That's
number one.
true, so right
He's our defending champion. So
Yeah, I am number 1 in fantasy football. That's true, though. Until someone
Yeah,
comes and
so,
takes my title away from me.
Yeah, so I guess Patrick Starr shouldn't be talking anymore.
No, he shouldn't be.
Nah. So well, gentlemen, I must one other story came up. I want to get Natalie and Flynn's take on this.
Hot
The
topics.
New York Giants are this year's Hard Knocks team.
So I think this.
Oh,
I think
close.
this. I think it's partially true, but I think there's needs to be more of a context to this. So Hard Knocks, a series on HBO that gets fans like real access to training camp, and over the past few years they've been expanding such that they show exclusive access to teams during the season. So, but this year the NFL's, HBO is doing something different and doing an off season. So, it's really going to focus in on the Giants front office. It's because the Giants had had an interesting off season. Having to weigh in the future with Daniel Jones as albatross of a contract, letting Saquon Barkley walk to a division rival, trading for Brian Burns, and eventually giving him a $150 million contract after they traded a couple of picks, draft picks to Carolina for his services, and then more importantly, what was it like in the draft room that night? Because the Giants had to weigh a lot of different things because they reportedly wanted to trade up to draft Drake May, but Drake May went to New England at 3, and instead of taking JJ McCarthy at number 6, they selected they selected Malik Neighbors from LSU. And all that. And really, what goes into the brain trust with Joe Shane and Brian Dable as well? Because look, Joe Shane was my number one choice to be the Giants general manager after the monster known as Dave Gettleman burned everything to the ground. So I think you're going to see quite a stark contrast to how Dave Gettleman ran things to how Joe Shane ran things.
Interesting.
It'll be interesting to see at least how that's going to work for an off-season one. Yeah. Color me intrigued.
So an off-season Hard Knocks. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not going to be. It's not the training camp. That's another. That's a whole another animal.
Right.
So this off-season Hard Knocks.
But I wonder who will be the training camp there.
I've heard it might be the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense because you have Caleb Williams and Matt Eberflus in his 3rd season as the coach. So I definitely think the Bears are one of the eligible teams.
They should be.
Yeah, that could that could make a little sense there. But yeah, y'all check out Hard Knocks on HBO when it comes out. So
absolutely.
So, we were talking before the show about what our next shows should be.
Just hold on 1 second. Be right back.
We still
got between right now playoffs and no playoffs, or head coaches on the hot seat.
That's kind of exactly what I'm thinking. We'll discuss that in the meantime. I've actually seen a couple of videos on YouTube about some teams that missed the playoffs last year that could make the playoffs this year, and then vice versa. So I'll watch those again and then get my opinions on my big 5 for each side. So y'all will make sure for that. So we still got the 5 in, 5 out. We still got hot coach hot seat. We got fantasy rankings. We have our divisional previews. We have the postseason predictions.
And then when I introduced last season, 20Q.
Yeah.
And what's that?
It's the 20Q special.
Last season I introduced 20Q, where we predicted stuff like the what was it? Who would have the most passing touchdowns? Which running back would have the most rushing touchdowns, rushing yards, things like that.
I did I did enjoy that one last year. We'll do
I
that
think
again.
this time, Flynn, you should make graphics for that. Like make it like a prediction special.
But I'd also think that I think we need to collaborate beforehand, like what questions that we'd have to ask. So.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
I'll make
definitely.
my list like I did last year. I'll submit a list.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more slight bit of business before we sign off for the evening. Vitaly, if I'm not mistaken, our league
as
has
of yesterday afternoon,
reactivated.
the league. Yep, as of yesterday afternoon, the league has been reactivated. If you didn't get the email, well, I'm informing you all here. So this means the league is now officially open.
Oh.
And I think and this whole off season sequence of podcast episodes and discussions will lead into what I believe the Friday of Labor Day weekend is our fantasy football draft.
And so it begins.
It should be, yeah. I have not officially put the date in yet, but right now we are on track to having that as the date.
Yep.
Right
It's
on.
not official yet.
There you go.
Not official, but the tentative date was August 30th, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. So
Yeah, I typically have it the
still-
Friday before the season starts.
That is true.
Makes
It's
sense.
definitely right before the season starts.
Yes.
makes sense. See that way, you know how some players will do if they make the rosters, or if they either get cut or if they get relegated to the practice squads. You know, you can have a good idea of who's going where. So
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
also
We
I also thinking we should consider having it an hour earlier because I think by like late rounds it seems like we're all getting tired a bit. So I think we should start an hour earlier this season.
we
I
will
think
we will
that's
definitely
good,
we will
too.
definitely say that.
Yeah.
Down for that.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, instead of like
I agree.
like 10 p.m. Eastern, maybe like a 9 p.m. Eastern, something like that.
I think I could probably go for something like that.
Just like Painting Game. Painting Game's gonna be a
Right.
little earlier this year too.
That's what?
Painting Game's gonna be a bit earlier this year too.
It is?
Yeah, because it'll be easier, especially with me working earlier with my work schedule.
Okay.
New job, just being able to. So it takes a
All right,
lot.
that's fair.
Just need to get some sleep.
Right on.
Yeah, I noticed over the years like we would end at like midnight Eastern. That's pretty late.
Yeah.
Almost there right
I
now.
mean, luckily this time I made the pick time shorter, an hour, a minute and 30 instead of 2 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, I noticed over the years 2 minutes was just too long. So,
Right.
and we've
No,
all
I
played,
understand.
played long enough to know who to pick and who not to pick, basically.
Right. So I guess right now, since the league is reactivated, we can just go ahead and work on our strategies and watch everything between now and then, and
Yep.
see what happens.
Yeah, mock
So,
drafts are open. So, yeah, a little early to
Yeah.
practice now, but
Yeah.
right.
So I mean, we'll have to say about developments because next week OTAs begin for everybody, and then
They do. That's right.
and then we have mini camps in June, which from a Buffalo Bills perspective, as we learned last year, could be a pretty big deal.
It can be absolutely.
So that's because of the Stephon Diggs situation in mini camp.
Amen.
Right. So, yeah, so we still have a lot to cover between now and when the season starts, when we have our draft. So we still got a lot to cover, but we're going to be able to do it.
Oh, absolutely will be.
All right. And I guess with that, we are going to put a bow on this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. What an awesome show we had going through the whole schedule.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, it was so great. It was so great. Flynn, tell us about your latest installment of Hooked on Sports. I mean, we still got the NBA draft, we still got the NHL. PGA Players Championship starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah?
We have that too. So I think a lot of it's got to be NBA. I think of course the reactions to the schedule release as some of my favorite games. It's and also we got some reports late tonight that Cameron Hayward it doesn't plan to attend OTAs as he seeks a contract extension. So that could be monitored. It's something to monitor, Lucas, for your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh.
And of course Cameron Hayward is the reigning Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. 35 years old.
Yeah, hopefully the Steelers can work out something for that boy, because Lord knows they're probably going to need him. So when do you think we can expect your next episode of Hooked on Sports?
I think I'm going to record tomorrow.
Very well then. So y'all be sure to check out where you find any podcast. Look up Hook on Sports. Great stuff as always. So y'all be sure to listen to him. Hey, Pizzle 90, Alex.
Yes.
We did mention a while back that Pain and Gain will be back and better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That is
it will
correct.
be. Pain and Gain will be back and better than ever. 100%.
I got a lot new sound clips.
I cannot wait.
Man.
Not more sound clips. So
yeah,
look
getting
out for
those.
that.
Getting the gears of that brain going. I know I've got some gears in my brain going. So we'll be looking for that on the A Pizzle 90 channel. Lucas,
Yes.
what you got?
Not much, to be honest with you. I'm just working way too much, so I don't have too much.
So he doesn't have too much, so he's going to work. So
well, I'll be around. Like, I'll pop into a stream now and then, but realistically, I'm not doing as much online on YouTube as much. Maybe I might do something for the NFL stream, talk about what games I'd love to go to, maybe breaking it down a little bit. But right now, still in the off season, so we'll see what happens.
all righty then. And of course, our man John Natali, like you said, the league is reactivated, so all is well. All right. Well, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back probably in a week or so.
Yeah. A date to be determined. A date to be determined. Let's put it that way.
I like it.
Yeah. So it'll be either next week or the week after. Date to be determined. We'll let everybody know. Well, it's been a great show. Great to have these guys. Absolutely. So on behalf of A Pizzle, LC Muscles, John Natali, our commissioner, John Flynn from Hooked on Sports, I'm Tim McClellan, along with my friend Rowdy. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great week. Keep up with the NFL action, because the business of the NFL goes on 24/7. So thanks for joining us, everyone. Take care, everybody. God bless you. And as always,
God bless you guys.
be a good sport.
Heck
See ya.
Yeah.